Victoria Lancaster checked her watch for the fifth time in as many minutes. She was going to be late, unacceptably, embarrassingly late for the blind date her best friend Amanda had spent weeks arranging. "He is perfect for you," Amanda had insisted, investment banker. Harvard-educated, drives a Tesla, summers in the Hamptons. Victoria had tried to explain that she did not care about those things anymore, but Amanda had already given the man her number, so here she was, driving her Mercedes through rural countryside toward some farm-to-table restaurant Amanda swore was worth the hour-long drive from the city, except now her car was making a sound, a terrible grinding, clanking sound that suggested something was very wrong. Victoria pulled over to the side of the road and tried calling her roadside assistance service. No signal, of course. She looked around fields, trees, and about a mile back, she had passed what looked like an old garage. Victoria grabbed her purse, locked her car, and started walking in her designer heels. 20 minutes later, sweaty and limping, she reached Riverside Garage. It was not much to look at. A weathered building with hand-painted signs. Old trucks in various states of repair scattered around. Tools hanging from every available surface, but there was life here. Warmth in the golden evening light. "Hello?" Victoria called. "Be right there." A man's voice responded from under a vintage pickup truck a moment later. He rolled out on a creeper. Victoria felt her breath catch. He was probably in his early 30s. With dark hair and warm brown eyes, he wore a gray t-shirt that showed off muscular arms, jeans stained with oil, and work boots. When he stood up and smiled at her, Victoria forgot why she had come. "Car trouble?" he asked, wiping his hands on a rag. "Yes. It is about a mile down the road. It started making this awful grinding sound. I can take a look." "Let me grab my truck. I can pay you, of course." "Whatever your rate is." He studied her for a moment, taking in her expensive clothes and obvious discomfort with the rural setting. "How about we see what is wrong first, then worry about payment?" They drove to her Mercedes in his truck, which was old but clean. "I am Cole, by the way. Cole Davidson, Victoria Lancaster. You are not from around here. Is it that obvious?" Cole smiled. The heels on a dirt road were a clue. "Where were you headed?" "I was supposed to meet someone for dinner." "A blind date, supposed to?" Victoria checked her phone, still no signal, but the time told her she was now 45 minutes late. "I think that ship has sailed." Which honestly might be for the best. "Not excited about the date?" "Not particularly. My friend set it up. She thinks I need to settle down with someone appropriate." "Appropriate," Cole repeated. "That is a word with a lot of baggage." They reached her car, and Cole got to work immediately. He popped the hood and spent several minutes examining the engine. "Your transmission is failing." "This is not a quick fix. I can tow it back to my shop and work on it tomorrow, but you are not driving this car anywhere tonight." Victoria felt panic rising. "Tomorrow? I have a meeting at 8 in the morning. You could try calling a tow service out of the city, but they will charge you triple for the distance and probably cannot get here until tomorrow anyway." He paused. "Or I could drive you back to the city tonight after I close up the shop. It is about an hour, but I do not mind. You would do that?" "Sure. I have to pick up my daughter from my sister's house anyway. She lives about 20 minutes from downtown." They towed her car back to Riverside Garage while Cole finished his paperwork for the day. Victoria sat on a wooden bench outside, finally taking off her torturous heels. "Better?" Cole asked when he emerged. "So much better. I do not know why I still wear these things. Because someone told you they were appropriate?" Victoria laughed. "Exactly." As they drove toward the city in Cole's truck, Victoria found herself relaxing. Cole was easy to talk to, unpretentious in a way the men in her world rarely were. "So you have a daughter?" she asked. "Yeah." "Lily?" "She is 7 years old, smart as a whip, and has me completely wrapped around her finger." The love in his voice was unmistakable. "Where is her mother, if you do not mind my asking?" "She passed away 3 years ago." "Breast cancer?" "It was very aggressive. I'm so sorry. Thank you." "It was the hardest thing we have ever been through. But Lily is strong, and we support each other. Plus, my sister helps a lot. It sounds like you have built a good life despite everything." "We have. It is not fancy, but it is ours." They pulled up to an older but well-maintained house in a working-class neighborhood. "I will just be a minute," Cole said. He returned with a little girl who had dark hair and pigtails and her father's warm eyes. "Lily, this is Miss Victoria. Her car broke down, so I'm giving her a ride home." "Hi," Lily said shyly. "Your hair is really pretty." "Thank you, sweetheart." "So is yours," as they drove into the city. Lily chattered about her day. She had helped her aunt bake cookies and watched a movie about a princess who saved herself. "I do not like the movies where the princess just waits to be rescued," Lily announced. "Me neither," Victoria agreed. "The good ones know how to save themselves." When they reached Victoria's building, a luxury high-rise in the financial district, she saw Cole take it in without comment. "Thank you so much for the ride and for fixing my car. How much do I owe you?" "Let me finish the transmission work tomorrow, then we will figure it out." "I will call you when it is ready." Victoria gave him her card. "Call me anytime." As she rode the elevator to her penthouse, Victoria realized she was smiling. She checked her phone and saw 3 angry texts from her would-be blind date and 2 worried ones from Amanda. She called, "Amanda, where were you? Derek waited an hour. My car broke down in the middle of nowhere. I never made it to the restaurant. Oh my God, are you okay?" "I am fine. A mechanic gave me a ride home." "A mechanic?" "Victoria, that could have been dangerous. He had his 7-year-old daughter with him. I think I was safe." Victoria could not explain to Amanda why she was more intrigued by the mechanic than she had been by the prospect of dinner with an investment banker. The next evening, "Cole called. Your car is ready. Transmission is replaced. Should run smoothly now. How much do I owe you?" He named a price that was far lower than what a city shop would charge. "That seems too reasonable." "That is my price. Can I pick it up tomorrow evening?" "I have meetings all day." "Sure. I close at 6. Would you and Lily like to have dinner with me? As a thank you." There was a pause. "You do not have to do that. I know." "I want to." Cole arrived at the garage the next evening with Lily. They piled into Cole's truck and drove to a diner Victoria had never been to despite living in the city for 10 years. "Best burgers in town," Cole promised. Lily regaled Victoria with stories about school and her friends. Cole watched his daughter with such obvious love that Victoria felt something shift in her chest. "What do you do for work?" Cole asked. "I am a corporate lawyer. Mergers and acquisitions mostly. Do you like it?" Victoria paused. "No one ever asked her that, honestly." "Not particularly. I am good at it and it pays well, but it does not make me happy." "Then why do you do it?" "Because it is what I went to school for. Because my parents were so proud when I made partner. Because walking away would feel like admitting defeat, or it would feel like choosing yourself." The words hung in the air over the next few weeks. Victoria found excuses to drive out to Riverside Garage. Her car made a noise. Could Cole check it? She was in the area. Did he want to grab coffee? She had tickets to a children's museum. Would Lily like to go? Cole never asked why a successful lawyer was spending her free time in a small town, but she could see the question in his eyes one evening, sitting on the bench outside his garage as the sun set. Victoria finally told him, "I think I have been living someone else's life. My parents wanted me to be a lawyer. My friends think I should marry someone with the right pedigree. Everyone has an opinion about what Victoria Lancaster should do. What do you want?" Cole asked. "I do not know. I have spent so long doing what I was supposed to do that I forgot to figure out what I actually want." She looked at him. "Except I know I like being here. With you and Lily. I like the way you live intentionally instead of just chasing the next achievement. I like that Lily knows she is your priority. I like the person I am when I am with you." Cole took her hand. "Victoria, I like you too. More than I should probably admit. But I need you to understand something. I am never going to be the guy your friends think you should be with. I am a mechanic. I live in a small house. I drive an old truck. My idea of a nice dinner is the diner, not some 5-star restaurant. I know, and I have Lily. She is my whole world. Anyone in my life has to understand that she comes first. I know that too. And Cole, I am not looking for someone my friends approve of. I am looking for someone who makes me want to be authentic instead of appropriate." Cole smiled. "That is the second time you have used that word. Appropriate. It has been the guiding principle of my life for too long. I am ready to try something different." 6 months later, Victoria walked into her law firm and handed in her resignation. Her colleagues were shocked. Her parents were disappointed. Amanda thought she had lost her mind, but Victoria had never been more certain of anything. She had taken a position with a nonprofit that provided legal services to low-income families. Pay was a fraction of what she had been making, but the work mattered in a way her corporate law never had. She moved out of her expensive penthouse and into a smaller apartment closer to Riverside. She traded her heels for practical shoes, and she spent her evenings with Cole and Lily, building something real. 1 year after her car broke down, Cole and Victoria sat on the bench outside his garage. Lily was inside, supposedly doing homework, but actually drawing pictures of the three of them. "I have something for you," Cole said. He pulled out a small velvet box. "Cole, before you say anything, I need you to know that this is not an expensive ring. I cannot afford that. But it belonged to my grandmother, and she would have loved you." Victoria opened the box. Inside was a simple gold band with a small diamond. It was perfect Victoria Lancaster. "You walked into my life by accident, and you changed everything. You showed me that it is possible to love again. You showed Lily what it means to choose your own path. And you showed me that sometimes the wrong person is exactly right. I was the wrong person. You were not supposed to be here that day. You were supposed to be on a blind date with some investment banker. But your car broke down, and you ended up here instead." He took her hand. "I do not believe in fate, but I believe in second chances. So will you marry me?" Victoria did not hesitate. "Yes." Lily, who had clearly been listening, ran out and jumped into both their arms. "Does this mean Victoria is going to be my mom?" "If you want her to be," Cole said. "I definitely want her to be." Victoria held both of them close. A year ago, she had been driving to a blind date she did not want, living a life she did not choose. Now she was here, engaged to a mechanic, about to become a stepmother, and happier than she had ever been. Sometimes the best things in life come from the worst moments. Sometimes your car has to break down before you can find your way, and sometimes the person you are supposed to meet is not the one waiting at the restaurant, but the one who shows up when you need him most. 2 years later, Victoria stood in the backyard of the house she and Cole had bought together. It was not large or fancy, but it had a big yard where Lily could play and a garage where Cole could work on projects. They had gotten married in a simple ceremony at the courthouse with just close family, no elaborate wedding, no society pages, just two people choosing each other. Victoria watched Cole teaching Lily how to change a tire. Lily was 9 now, confident and curious and completely at home in the garage. "You are going to be the coolest kid in school when you can change your own tire." Cole said, "I am already the coolest kid in school." Lily replied, "My mom is a lawyer who helps people and my dad fixes cars and we are happy. That is cooler than anything." Victoria felt tears in her eyes. She thought about the blind date she had missed, the life she had walked away from, the expectations she had finally released, and she knew, without a doubt, that her car breaking down that day was the best thing that ever happened to her, because it brought her here to this family, to this life, to this love. Sometimes you have to take the wrong road to end up in the right place. And sometimes being appropriate means being authentically, messily, beautifully yourself. Even if it is not what anyone expected. If this story warmed your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales about unexpected love. Choosing authenticity over expectations and finding family in the most surprising places. Leave a comment sharing your thoughts on living authentically or a time when a detour led you somewhere better than your original destination. Your stories inspire us and remind us that the best life is the one you choose for yourself, not the one others choose for you.